The Patriots are getting ready for their season finale against the Jets, a Jets team where we could maybe see some members coming to New England in the near future, and that is what we are going to talk about. I'm Mariah, Janos, joined by Evan Lazar. Evan, I want to start with Sam Darnold, who doesn't love talking quarterbacks. If the Jets draft a quarterback this year, does that just solidify that they are moving on from Sam Darnold, and could we potentially see him here in New England?
Well, I think the potential of seeing him here in New England is a very low percentage chance because I do believe that Darnold can play. And the last thing the Jets are going to do is trade him in the division to the Patriots, knowing that he could be a franchise type of quarterback with a little bit more development. I think the important thing to remember with a guy like Darnold is he's still only 24 years old. He was one of the youngest rookies in the history of the league. So he's still got a long way to go in his development. If the Jets think anything of him, any sort of positive outcome at all, and they are not going to trade him to the New England Patriots, and they're not going to just outright release him either because he does have trade value. So I think that this one is a long shot to happening. I think that Darnold has a ton of talent. I've always been a big Sam Darnold fan, but at the same time, when you look at sort of the logistics of it, why would the Jets trade Darnold to the Patriots, hand them a franchise quarterback in the division when they can ship him out west or something like that and avoid it altogether?
Now, we've talked about bridge quarterbacks before, especially with Cam Newton. Would you see him? He doesn't seem like the type that would fit that mold, but if the Jets do bring in a young quarterback, would he all of a sudden become the bridge?
No, he would definitely be a guy I think you invest in as sort of a franchise type of guy and a developmental prospect. And that's exactly what Bill Belichick called him today, was a prospect, which really kind of tells you that he is still seeing him as a guy that's basically a young player in this league and not someone that has already arrived in the league quite yet. So I would look at him as a long-term play if he were to be brought in by the Patriots. But again, it's just a long shot that the Jets are going to let Darnold walk to New England. It just doesn't seem like that's a very likely outcome. And there are things to like about Sam Darnold's game. He's got all the talent in the world. That's why he went number 3 overall. He is the type of player, though, that I think is better out of structure or kind of in like that playground type of style and not necessarily running the actual system and the actual scheme. That's always been sort of the knock on him, is turnovers and maybe a propensity to just kind of go off script often instead of kind of running the play that is called. But again, it just doesn't seem like the Jets would have any interest or any reason to hand the Patriots a guy as talented as Sam Darnold, even if they do draft a quarterback.
Absolutely. Patriots Press Pass is presented by the Legends brand. Visit thelegendsbrand.com/Horford and use the promo code Horford20 to get 20% off your next purchase. That's thelegendsbrand.com/Horford and use the promo code Horford20 in all caps. Now, I also want to talk about Adam Gase. Bill Belichick talked about the respect that he has for him and his relationship with Gase that he's built over the years. Do you think if Gase is fired from the Jets that he could potentially be brought on as an offensive assistant for the Patriots?
I think it's funny because Adam Gase is the butt of everybody's joke, right? Everybody thinks he's the worst head coach in the NFL. But if the reason why Bill Belichick is so heaping praise on Adam Gase, now, first of all, he always heaps praise on the opponent, and this is just sort of gamesmanship by Belichick. But I actually think it's genuine with Adam Gase, and the reason being is that Adam Gase has always given the Patriots trouble, whether it was the offensive coordinator of the Broncos with Peyton Manning or over the years in Miami with the Dolphins down there, especially in those games in South Florida. Adam Gase has always coached the Patriots hard. He's coached them tough. He knows their system very well defensively and how to beat the Patriots coverages and different things that New England likes to do. So Bill Belichick has experienced firsthand that Adam Gase can coach. And sometimes I think Bill is one of those coaches or one of those kind of football czars that looks at players and coaches and opponents and stuff like that just give the Patriots problems a little bit differently than maybe the rest of the league when you look at the big picture. It's a 3-12 football team. That there's no denying that they're not a very good team right now, or 2-13 or whatever they are. But at the same time, Adam Gase, last time out, the Patriots needed a last-second field goal to beat the Jets. Yeah. Gase has had his number down in Miami, like I mentioned before then. So this is a situation where Gase has had a ton of success against Bill Belichick and the Patriots specifically, and that's why Bill is so high on him.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if anyone thinks that we're closing out the season and it's in the bag, just think about the last time the Patriots played the Jets and how long it took to get that win and to get ahead on the scoreboard. So we'll see what happens this weekend. For all of our Patriots coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Patriots Press Pass.